You know that feeling, right? That little phantom buzz you feel in your pocket? Or that automatic, unconscious reflex to just unlock your phone the second you have a spare moment? Well, you're not alone, and it's not an accident. In fact, it's all part of a very deliberate design. 150. Get this, according to industry insiders, that's about how many times we check our phones every single day. It's not just that we're using our devices anymore. Nope, they've become a part of our routine, a part of our automatic, everyday behaviors.
Author and behavioral designer Nir Eyal puts it pretty bluntly. These technologies have become compulsions. You know how it is, that quick check of a notification, the endless scroll through a feed. What starts as just a few minutes can suddenly turn into an hour. Gone, just like that.
So what is going on here? How do these products, which are often just bits of code on a screen, get so deeply embedded in our lives? Well, it's not magic, not at all. It's a blueprint. And today, we're going to walk through exactly how it works.
All right, so the answer lies in something Nir Eyal calls the hook model. You can think of it as this hidden engine that drives our engagement with these products. It's a framework that's specifically designed to connect our problems with a company's solution so often that using it just becomes second nature.
So this is it. This is the whole cycle. It's a four-step loop that companies guide us through over and over and over again. And what's the ultimate goal? To get us to use their product without any external push at all. No ads, no notifications, nothing. They want to become our first-to-mind solution. The model's made up of these four phases: a trigger, an action, a variable reward, and finally, an investment. Once you understand how each of these steps works, you can really see exactly how these powerful habits are built.
Okay, let's dive into it. We're going to start with the first two pieces that really get the ball rolling. The trigger, which is the spark for the behavior, and the action we take right after.
The trigger is what kicks everything off. Imagine you're scrolling your social feed and you see this beautiful photo from a friend. That image, that's an external trigger. It sparks your curiosity, it makes you want to click, and boom, it pulls you right into an app like Pinterest or Instagram. Now here's where it gets really clever. See, there are two kinds of triggers. Products always start with external triggers. You know, the pings, the pop-ups, the emails. But the real goal, the end game, is to create a connection to our internal triggers, our emotions. When you feel bored, what do? You open Twitter. When you feel lonely, you scroll Facebook. A habit is truly formed when the product becomes your brain's automatic answer to an internal feeling. Following that trigger comes the action. And the key word here is simplicity. To build a habit, the action you take has to be easier than thinking. We're talking a simple scroll, a tap, a click. If there's too much work involved, the habit just never takes hold.
This quote from Evan Williams, the co-founder of Twitter, just nails the whole philosophy. Innovation isn't always about inventing something brand new. A lot of the time, it's about taking a desire we already have and just making it radically easier to act on.
And this graph shows you exactly what happens when they do that. Back in the day, creating content online was hard. You had to know some coding, use complex software, but then platforms like Twitter and Pinterest came along and just removed all that friction, making it ridiculously simple to post a thought or pin a picture. And look what happened. The number of people doing it just exploded. Making that action simple, that was the key that unlocked millions of users. So once we've taken that super easy action, how do companies keep us coming back for more? Well, that brings us to the last two steps in the loop, and honestly, these are the most powerful ones: variable rewards and investment. Let me put it this way. When you open your refrigerator door, the light comes on. It's predictable. It's boring. But what if every single time you open that door, a different, amazing treat was waiting for you? You'd be opening that door all day long. That's the power of unpredictability. And that's the whole concept of a variable reward. Our brains are hardwired to crave novelty and surprise. That feeling of pulling down to refresh your Instagram feed, the not knowing what you're going to find, that activates the exact same reward centers in your brain as pulling the lever on a slot machine. It keeps you scrolling, searching for that next little win. Okay, so the final step is what closes the loop. It's called investing. After we get our little reward, the product prompts us to do a little bit of work. Now, we're not talking about money here. We're talking about putting something valuable back into the product, like our time, our effort, our data, or even our social connections.
Every time you follow someone, like a post, build a playlist, or invite a friend to an app, you are making an investment. And this does two really important things. One, it makes the product better and more customized for you the next time around. And two, it loads the next trigger.
Now the service can send you a notification when your friend accepts that invite, and that starts the hook all over again.
So why do companies pour so much time and money into all this? Because a habit is the ultimate competitive advantage. It's a gold mine. When a product becomes a user's default, their first-to-mind solution, its value to the business just skyrockets.
A behavior enters what's called the habit zone when it combines two key things. You do it really often, and you feel like you get a lot of value out of it. So think about Google. You probably use it multiple times a day. That's high frequency. Or Amazon. You might not shop every day, but the perceived utility of finding basically anything you want is immense. Products that live in this zone become our go-to solution.
And this transition is the really crucial part. Most habit-forming products start off as vitamins. They're nice to have. But once that habit is formed, they become painkillers. Suddenly, not using them creates a little bit of pain, an itch, that fear of missing out. And now the product is the only thing that can scratch that itch. And the business benefits of building this kind of loyalty, they're huge. You get a higher customer lifetime value, which means users stick around longer. They become way less sensitive to price changes, they're more likely to tell all their friends about the service, and they create this powerful barrier that makes it incredibly difficult for any competitor to steal them away. So understanding this blueprint, it's kind of like gaining a superpower. For the people who build these products, it gives them immense influence. And for us as users, it gives us a brand new lens to look at our own behaviors. As one of Nir Eyal's readers actually put it, this ability to design habits is a seriously powerful force. Of course, it can be used for good, right? To help people build healthy routines like exercising or learning a language. But it can also be used to create compulsions that aren't necessarily in our best interest. At the end of the day, it's a tool, and its impact really depends on how it's used.
So the next time you find yourself just automatically reaching for an app, pause for a second. Because now you can see it, can't you? You can see the trigger that sparked it, the super simple action you're about to take, and the variable reward your brain is hoping for. The real question is, now that you know how the loop works, what are you going to do with that knowledge?
If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe.